Jimmy would fall under the heading to a lot of people as a late bloomer. When he broke out on tour, Butch Harmon started working with him, and Butch's first reaction was, why hasn't this guy won?
When you've got the best coach in the world telling you how good you are day in and day out, you kind of start to believe it.
He said, my big job was to get Jimmy to believe that he was as good as I knew he would be.
Jimmy wasn't an instant superstar. This is a guy who really had to work for everything he's attained, and he's moved up in the ranks very quickly.
Just about everybody who saw Jimmy play in 13, 14 said this guy was ready to start winning, and winning a lot. Jimmy said it after winning the PGA Championship, that the Ryder Cup, brought his confidence level to what it needed to be for individual tournaments.
Playing in the Ryder Cup is a huge boost to any player, especially for a guy who had never done it before. Jimmy Walker was able to not just compete under that spotlight, but compete alongside the likes of Phil Mickelson and Ricky Fowler, his partner as he calls him.
I don't take anything for granted. I mean, I try to take everything that I've done and apply it to what's happening now, and I've gotten to experience a lot of things in golf, a lot of crucial shots and key putts, and you remember that and you rely on that, and it can help you move forward.
He thought the Ryder Cup did everything for him. He was embraced by teammates. He's a very easygoing guy, has a wonderful demeanor on the golf course. Fierce competitor, which, they all are. I believe, and Jimmy himself said it, was massive for his confidence.
I don't think it's a surprise that Jimmy Walker won a major championship. I think it might have been a little bit of a surprise that it came this year.
We all thought this would be a steady rise. I think the surprise to a lot of us, not only did Jimmy stop winning, he stopped really contending, and he got into this year that all of a sudden, what you don't see, what we don't see, we looked at him playing and looked at the same old Jimmy. We don't know what's going on, and come to find out he had lost a little bit of confidence in himself, which is remarkable given his incredible talent.
I think Jimmy was able to come into the PGA Championship without the spotlight directly on him. We talk about the big names in the game, from Jason Day to Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson coming off his U.S. Open victory.
I think the focus was on the 4, 5, 6 best players in the world, and we readily expected them all to be in contention.
But no one's talking about Jimmy Walker at 48th in the world, and I think that allowed him to sneak in under the radar, even going into that final day where he had to play 36 holes. I don't think a lot of people were expecting Jimmy Walker to go out and win that golf tournament.
What was a little bit surprising is the Jimmy Walker that we had, come to see in 14 as a really, really great player. The surprising thing is, all of a sudden, he returned.
The tournament started, and I felt very comfortable with Baltusrol. I liked the golf course a lot. It really fit my eye everywhere, and just continued to keep carrying that momentum throughout the week.
It wasn't head-to-head with Jason Day, but it had that feel. Jimmy had the advantage of just basically paying attention to what he's doing, but looking ahead. He could see everything that Jason Day was doing it. He played aggressively. We thought he would play it safely. That was the fun thing, to see that we were wrong and he played it the way he did. He kept true to his game plan.
It is a big deal, I'm not going to lie. Did the "this is to win the PGA Championship" pop into my head? Yes, it did. But you gotta enjoy that for a second, because you've worked your whole life to get there, and this is actually happening. It wasn't a dream, and it was happening. So embracing that for just a second and then getting on with it. Don't be afraid of it. I think that's where you can maybe get into trouble a little bit, is when you tell yourself that, you're like, you get scared of it.
Just like the first 3 major champions of this year, I don't think Jimmy Walker is a one-hit wonder. Maybe he wins another major championship down the road. He's a guy who's going to be here for a long time. He's not a player who we're going to see fade from the scene in golf. This is a guy who's a top 20 player who showed that he's able to play his best golf in that spotlight, in the pressure. And I don't think we're going to look at Jimmy Walker's career 20 years from now and say he won a PGA and that was it.
Magical week, man, it really was. Look forward to doing it again.